Today, I'm joined by the Chief Executive at AVA Airways from the Dominican Republic, Mr. Olivier Arrindell. Thank you for joining me today. To start off, could you tell us a bit about AVA Airways and what you're trying to do with it?
Well, at AVA Airways, we are an airline that is working on becoming one of the best airlines of the Americas by connecting people throughout the Caribbean, Latin America, and North American market, and using an Airbus A320 model and doing things differently and out of the box thinking type of aviation aspect. I believe that we strive to be a different type of airline model by providing the best services that we can to our customers. And it's unfortunate that with the situation with the convict, that may have to be on hold for a little bit until everyone kind of get over their fear factor of something that they do not understand.
Sure, fair enough. I did read that you're looking at starting in December of this year, so I'm guessing that it's pushed back now?
Correct, yes. We were going to airborne this year, December, but that has been pushed back until summer or later in the fall of 2021, because now we want to pay attention to how these new measures are going to be developed and how to build a business model around that.
Okay. So next year, if COVID still exists and if still precautionary measures exist, with, for example, 60% of your capacity can only be sold for certain market for regulatory reasons, that's their stipulation. Would you still, do you still think it's viable for AVA Airways to launch then, even if it's next year? And the health measures are in place?
Yeah, of course. 60% load factor for us is good. Some airlines is not, but for AVA Airways it's good. Okay. So yes, we will still do so. And if you understand the Caribbean market sector and Latin American market sector, you can understand here, other than certain places like Europe, you got different means of transportation. Over here, if you gotta get off the island to go to another, the only means is by air.
So do you have the economics to actually fill A320s to small islands in the Caribbean? Or would you be looking at adding a different fleet? Okay.
No, the islands that can support the Airbus 320, yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, 90%, 95% of the islands in the Caribbean, have the capacity to have that type of situation. Just in the Dominican Republic, we have 9 international airports.
Okay. And as such, could I assume you'll be more of a hub and spoke airline, or would you be a point-to-point?
We'll be more, hub and spoke, but starting out as a point-to-point first.
Okay. What are the initial markets you're looking at?
Well, on LinkedIn, I have a flight map, that express markets such as Colombia, St. Martin, Curacao, Fort Lauderdale, Panama, Jamaica, Antigua, certain markets around this area, connecting the dots first before we expand into bigger markets.
Okay. Do you have regulatory approval to fly into those markets, or is that the work in progress?
The regulatory approval, like every bilateral agreement with every single country, obviously it's simple for that. So that is part of our economic authority. So we set our plans and we get the approval for all the destinations, which has to be served, but we develop them gradually.
Okay. I think before you told about doing things differently, is that where the concept taking crazy out of flying comes from?
Correct. Because flying right now is crazy when you got to pay for bags, you got to, seats are tight and all kinds of, before the ultra low cost carrier came in. Craziness was there, but you know, I don't know why airline flights have to be so extravagant, crazy.
Yeah.
One of the things that I keep telling people is that a lot of airlines went bankrupt before coronavirus, not
Mm.
in coronavirus. So, kind of early in the morning here, so just
Yeah.
you know, so
No, thank
and
you
you
for your
know, and
time.
pretty much, yeah, that's where taking crazy out of flying came, and you know, we doing things that are not crazy to the consumer, pretty
Okay.
much.
So would it be a premium kind of airline with low prices or with a high price tag?
I think you can compare us in similarity to a comparable, maybe a Qatar
Okay.
type of airline.
So
Um,
when you say Qatar, what would your business product look like? Because it's an A320, I'm going to assume it will be more of a regional product.
Correct. Our business product, by the way, it's named Bliss. So if you know what the definition of bliss is, that's what the standard that we're going to live by. You know, we want to
Okay.
make you, tremendously live. So it's going to be a regional product, yes.
Okay. So is there plans in the works or long-term plans on expanding to other continents other than the Americas?
Well, for now, we're going to focus developing our base hub first, and then as we grow gradually, yes, there are going to be plans for expansion, I suppose. But first and foremost, we want to make sure connecting the Americas properly. And as you know, the Americas is one of the world's most profitable aviation regions. So we want to connect that, you know, better, and then
Okay.
from there,
Okay. I've seen a lot of videos on the airline CEOs saying they don't expect the industry to rebound to pre-COVID-19 levels for another 2-3 years. How do you plan on stimulating the market and competing with the legacy airlines in both North America and in South America?
by inviting people to come to the beach in the Dominican Republic, the greatest country on earth. So if you want to get rid of corona stress, we got 141 kilometers of one of the best rivers in the entire Americas, River Camus. We have the greatest beaches. We have the greatest people. We have the greatest culture. We have the greatest food. We have everything that you can offer. Dominican Republic has it all. So those that is going crazy over something that no one in this world to this day can prove to me that this is actually killing people with proof by autopsy. I want proof. I want to see it. I'm that type of crazy CEO that will tell you, I need to see the proof in
Okay.
order for me to go crazy. And I truly believe that it's going to be less time. Airline CEO can say whatever they want to say. But if you look at the North American market, it's already bouncing back. Keep in mind that airline CEOs are speaking from their perspective.
Yes.
They're not speaking from the perspective of the consumer. People want to travel. People don't feel the need to be in prison anymore. They want to be free. So, I believe that this will bounce back in 2 years to what it was before. But the legacy carriers is no longer going to make the bread like they used to make before, because some of them went bankrupt and some of them
Yeah.
will just disappear. And coronavirus was just the axe that break the monkey back, and pretty much that's it. But for AVA Airways, I think that we are fortunate that we have gotten a gift from the universe that did not allow us to launch before that.
Yeah.
And now that I believe every 100 years there is a pandemic. So I think in the next 100 years, the next one is going to come out, unless somebody wants to play economic warfare
Yeah.
and create another virus to kind of stems People believe this. I don't know how it is in India, but I'm sure that people are not falling on the side of the road.
No, it's not. I'm in Sri Lanka, but yeah, it's not. Yeah.
Sri Lanka, yeah, Sri Lanka. So, and then on top of that, suddenly there's no more coronavirus. Now it's Black Lives Matter, and that is dominate the media in the world at the present moment. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's happening all the way in North America, but protests happen here, even in Sri Lanka. So it is
correct,
crazy. Yeah.
correct.
Um,
Yeah, I'm just telling you what's going on from our perspective. But in the Dominican Republic, you know, it's a great the way how our people is taking it in and the way how things are pretty much happening in the country. I think if anyone have stress about coronavirus, our beaches will be open as of July 16th. So you're more than welcome to come and take a swim
okay.
and relax your mind in that summer vacation. So that's what I think it's going to happen.
Okay. Moving back to the legacy airlines, they've been getting a lot of bailouts. Being a private airline, what do you feel? What do you think about that? Because there's different school of thought in that unfair playing
Yeah, I
advantage
think
and all.
my position is the same position as the CEO of Ryanair, my colleague.
Yeah.
So I believe that airlines are getting bailout more than the value of their companies.
Mm-hmm.
So, it presents an hypocrisy of the Unfair Competition Act that everybody signed a couple years ago. So I was under the impression that governments are not allowed to be in airlines, but I believe that certain airlines was too big to fail, and under the umbrella of saving jobs, they decided to pump money. They could pump all the money they want. That will not save the airline that is still in a bad position,
Yeah.
because that's what it's called, legacy. Every system is old.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't matter. In order for you to be able to combat a legacy carrier is by starting one from scratch.
Okay.
So my position is the same position as the CEO of Ryanair, which I think is a strong businessman and
Yes.
doing his business according to the rules and regulations, and AVA operates in the same parameter, rules and regulation and fair competition. You know,
Yeah, fair enough. He's been very vocal as well.
correct. Like in
Yeah.
Sri Lanka, you guys play cricket.
Yes,
So,
we do.
you
Yeah.
know, in cricket, you have a lot of rounds. So the first 10 rounds, they might get it, but once the game gets hot,
Yeah.
it becomes a different ball game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Below cricket. Yeah.
I see it like that.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Um, Moving on to your target market. So as I understand, would it be leisure traffic? More leisure traffic, less business?
This is the misconception of Latin America and the Dominican Republic and all of that. We do have VFR. We do have a lot of business travels going on amongst the region. People have to move for medical reasons, economic reasons. They have to move for all types of reasons. So leisure only represents approximately 20% to 25% of our target market in that
Okay.
area.
Okay. Looking at, would you be working with the local government in the Dominican Republic, for example, in promoting the island and promoting tourists into the country, or would you be only focusing on the airline at this point?
To be quite frank, I will work with any government that wants to develop economic stability of air transportation throughout the region. So we have to work with our government because they are the regulators on the other hand. Work with them in the sense of they becoming a shareholder of AVA Airways is a different story. We're entrepreneurial airline, and we want to remain that way.
Okay. To my last question before we leave, could you just give us a timeline of what we could expect from AVA Airways in the next 2 years, for example, if you stick with your launch next year?
What you're going to expect from AVA Airways if we stick to our launching plan is the credit of the best airline in the Americas.
Okay.
From the sense of customer service, safety, and also on-time performance. Those are the target goals that we're trying to focus on. And I believe that remaining an airline which has a strong cash flow is more important than us than having year-to-year profits.
Okay. I mean, I wish you all the best and good luck. Thanks for joining me, and hope to see AVA Airways take flight soon.
Thank you so much for connecting with me. And yes, it was a pleasure having a discussion with you, and looking forward to next steps.
Yeah.